Jesus was born in a very special way. An angel from heaven was sent to a young virgin named Mary. Mary was engaged to a man named Joseph. The angel told Mary that God was going to cause her to become pregnant without having contact with a man. Mary knew that God had the power to make the heavens and the earth by saying the word. She knew that God could do what He said He would do, and she believed Him. In a very special way, God was the Father of Jesus. The angel also appeared to Joseph in a dream. The angel explained to Joseph that Mary had not been with another man, but that God was doing something special in her. He instructed Joseph and Mary to name the child Jesus, which means Savior. Joseph obeyed God and did not sleep with Mary until the baby was born. About this time, the king required all people to return to the town of their ancestors so they could keep an account of the people. Mary and Joseph had to travel to the town of Bethlehem. When they arrived there, no one had room for them. All the houses were full of people, so they had to stay where the cattle were kept. It was there that Mary gave birth to the baby Jesus. That night, an angel appeared to some shepherds who were watching their sheep in a field nearby. He told them that this special child, who was to be the Savior of the people, was born nearby. Then suddenly many angels appeared in the sky, singing and praising God. The shepherds went to see this special child. They told the people all around there how the angels had appeared to them. We are not told very much about the early life of Jesus in the Bible. We are told that Mary and Joseph took the baby Jesus to Egypt when someone was trying to kill the holy baby. Then they returned to Israel, to the town of Nazareth. Jesus grew in wisdom and strength, and the grace of God was upon him. When Jesus was 12 years old, Mary and Joseph took him to Jerusalem. He talked about God with the teachers and leaders of Israel. He listened to them and asked and answered questions. They were all surprised at his great knowledge of God. When Jesus was about 30 years old, he began to teach people about God. Many people believed his teaching, and he became very well known. Jesus had great power from God to do miracles. He was able to heal blind people. He spoke to dead people and they came back to life. He even walked on top of the sea. He did many great miracles in the presence of many people to prove that he was sent from God and had authority from God. He could speak the word and it would happen as he said. Jesus was very special, and many people knew it. Jesus did many wonderful things, and many people followed him. Jesus was kind, healed the sick, and taught God's way. Jesus was good. Jesus did not sin. Jesus always did what God wanted him to do. He came to show us God's love and to win people back to follow God and walk in God's ways. But there were influential religious leaders who were very jealous of Jesus. They did not want to admit that they had broken God's law and were sinners like the rest of the people. Their hearts were hard, and they did not want to believe that Jesus was sent from God. They told lies about Jesus and had him arrested. He was beaten, Soldiers placed a crown of thorns on his head and mocked him. Jesus could have resisted this and stopped them, but he did not resist. He had come to the world to become a sacrifice for sin. His life was going to be sacrificed for the sins of all people. Jesus was taking upon himself the punishment that the people deserved. The soldiers nailed Jesus to a wooden cross. Then they stood the cross upright in the ground, and Jesus hung there until he died. In those days it was the custom to kill the worst criminals in this cruel way. 2 criminals were also put on the crosses that day. But Jesus was not a criminal. He was innocent. He had done no wrong. That day he was dying for other people's sins, not his own. He was dying for the sins of the people who were alive then, but also for the sins of people who would come later. His death takes away the sins of all who want to turn from their sinful ways and accept his sacrifice as their own sacrifice. When Jesus died, he made the perfect sacrifice. He paid for the sins of all people with his sinless blood. God has said that all other sacrifice is no longer necessary because Jesus made the perfect sacrifice. The enemies of Jesus thought that they had destroyed him, but this was not so. After Jesus died on that cross, a wealthy friend put the body of Jesus into his own new burial cave. They closed the entrance of the cave with a large stone. On the 3rd day, early in the morning, some women came to the cave to perform the proper burial customs. They were surprised to find the stone rolled away, and Jesus was not there. They were even more surprised to see 2 angels, who told them that Jesus was alive. These messengers from God told them very clearly that Jesus had risen from the dead. After Jesus rose from the dead, he began to visit some of his disciples. He talked with them and ate with them. Thomas, one of his disciples, heard of this and could not believe that Jesus was alive again. He said, "Until I see his nail wounds and touch him, I will not believe." Jesus came to this group again, this time when Thomas was there. Jesus spoke directly to Thomas, and Thomas fell down on his knees before him, believing. Jesus said, "You believe because you see me. Blessed are those who do not see me and yet believe." For 40 days after Jesus rose from the dead, he appeared to people. Many people saw him and knew that he was alive. Now it was time for Jesus to go back to heaven. He had finished the work he had come to do. Jesus told his followers that they were to go out and tell everyone everywhere what he had done. Then, as many of his followers watched, Jesus rose off the ground and went higher and higher, until he went into a cloud and disappeared from their sight. Just then 2 angels appeared. They told the disciples that Jesus would one day return in the same way that he had left. He is now in heaven, preparing a place for all those who will believe in and follow him. Jesus made the way for us to come to God.